applied myself, I filled it in. No time for that doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. I'm sadly mistaken, I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take a few to lose. Built the win, applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I built the win, applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of Unfazed with your boy JJ and AJ. We got a special episode coming for you all today. Obviously, the playoffs are in full effect. The Super Bowl is upon us, and I believe about a week now, around the corner. So we got an AFC AFC Championship to recap. We got an NFC Championship to recap. We got some coaching hires to talk about as well. There's a lot to get to, maybe even the greatest snub of all time from the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So much to touch on, so much to get to, but before we get to all that, I got to ask my boy JJ, Joe Jordan, how you feeling today, man? How you doing?
I'm feeling great, man. Blessed and highly favored. I can't wait to do this episode. We got some good topics today. I get to talk about my Commanders today. I'm excited about that. And let's get to it.
Yes, sir. Let's get to it. And before we do that, Carl, get up out of here, man. Get up out of here with that, Carl, man. Get up out of here.
They start this.
Yeah, man. I don't even know. I think they got smacked tonight by I just got the alert. They got smacked 99 to 129 by the Cavs. Lord have
AJ,
mercy.
I was watching the game and y'all were up, and I got distracted. And then I saw Ronnie get a dunk. I was like, okay. I looked up. Y'all was down about 20. Yeah. I was like, dang. What happened?
Oh man, we need my boy. We need my boy Reeves back, man. But we're not talking ball today, man. We talking basketball. We talking football, man. We saw an AFC Championship game with a total of, what was it, Joe? 17 points between the Patriots and the Broncos. Joe, watching that game, what were your thoughts? What were your takeaways as we watched the New England Patriots? Shout out to Teddy. The New England Patriots advance to the Super Bowl.
Well, shout out to the Patriots, man. For getting back to the Super Bowl quick and easy. You know, like they had a good 4 or 5 year drought. So good for them. Well, they had I'm going to say a 8-year drought because it was 2018 the last time they went to the Super Bowl. But let's talk about the game. So obviously Bo Nix was not there, and they went with Jarrett Stidham. A lot of Broncos fans feel like if Bo Nix would have played, they would have won, and I'm not mad at them for feeling that way, because there was some costly mistakes that happened in this game. And how the Patriots been playing. If you're coaching against the Patriots, you want to tell your offense, don't turn the ball over, because one thing the Patriots have been doing all offseason is capitalizing off of their opponent's turnovers. And Justin Herbert didn't turn the ball over, but they just couldn't score. So don't turn the ball over. And two things happened in that game that was iffy. All right. Number one, the fourth down play. It's 4th and 1. You just scored a touchdown. You're up 7-0. The Patriots couldn't get nothing done. They did 12 plays and got 12 yards, AJ, before this 4th and 1. So your defense is shutting down. And what Sean Payton does, he goes for it instead of kicking the field goal. Now, I was in the chat. I'm not one of these dudes that waited until after it happened. I was in the chat and said, if I'm Sean Payton, I'm kicking this because I have my backup quarterback in the game, and points are at a premium right now. You got to get all the points you can get. I know some people say, oh, you got to take advantage of it. I'm like, listen, points are at a premium because we saw what happened after that. And then later on in the game, because they get it stopped. They get the ball back in their own territory. It's like 3rd and 4. Jarrett Stidham fumbles, throws a backwards pass, which I believe it was actually a forward pass. It got tipped. And the commentator said when the ball gets tipped, it don't count. Like when it go backwards, I think it's tipped, then it's not a backwards pass. It's based on where he actually threw it. So it looked like it was a forward pass, but referees called it a fumble. And also, if he just go down, AJ, it's 4th down anyway. Now, shout out to my boy Carl. Carl came on the show and said that, came on the R2S show and said his fumble is being overshadowed. Sorry, Sean Payton's 4th and 1 decision is being overshadowed by Jarrett Stidham's fumble, which he think that's the reason why they lost. I got to disagree with my boy Carl because are we surprised this backup quarterback turned the ball over? Now, I get how he did it, but if you'd have told me Jarrett Stidham's going to lead this game with 2 turnovers, will you be surprised? No.
Right.
So if you know that you got a backup quarterback, take the points. What happened was he got too greedy. All right? Yeah, I did say it was right first. Now I think about it, I disagree with you, Carl. But he got greedy. He saw Jarrett Stidham go down the field. He get an easy touchdown. And then he going down the field again. He like, oh, this is a piece of cake. We gonna be open. It's gonna be easy. It's gonna tell my boy HaHa Davis. It's gonna be a breeze. What's the breeze? Because it started getting breezy, it started snowing, and they couldn't do nothing ever since. I do want to highlight the Patriots defense because first, the Patriots, yes, they do have the easiest schedule in NFL history. 11 of their games, AJ, were against teams who fired their coach this year. 11 of their games, bro. Which is crazy, right? And that's not including the Jets, who they had to play twice. All right?
Yeah.
So they did have an easy schedule. They didn't really beat a juggernaut this year. It's not really been a juggernaut this year for real. In the playoffs, they played against poor offenses. They went against Justin Herbert, who had a beat-up offensive line, and he has playoff issues. They went against CJ Stroud, who turned the ball over 4 times, and they went against a backup quarterback. But I want to give the defense credit, though. Like people say, CJ had 4 turnovers. I mean, they got forced. They were dumb, but they got forced. Justin Herbert couldn't do nothing. I mean, they went against a good defense. I saw that same Justin Herbert put up like 30-plus points on the Cowboys. You know what I mean? He was capable, but he went into good defense. Here's the thing, AJ. In this playoff run, the Patriots, 95 pressures, 12 sacks, 8 turnovers, and only 2 touchdowns allowed. The whole playoff run, which is crazy. And also, did you know that they are allowing the 3rd worst passing rating in playoff history? Do you know that? Number 1 is the 2000 Ravens, which is 33.4 rating. They won the Super Bowl. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who beat the brace off the Raiders, 45.9, and they are at 46.5. That's how good his defense been so far. So shout out to the Patriots. And Drake making, even though he hasn't been great this playoffs, he made some winning plays down the stretch in all the games for real. So shout out to Drake May, shout out to Mike Vrabel, shout out to the Patriots for winning this game.
I want to let the people here Unfazed know. I need to let the people know something, Joe. Because Joe is not going to say this to y'all right now. My co-host, JJ Joe Jordan, he's not going to say this to y'all right now. But when it's time to rank Drake May.
Okay.
When it's time to talk about is Drake May elite? How good is he? Is he great? Is this and the third? Given what I've heard from JJ Joe Jordan before, this playoff run, no matter how he performs in the Super Bowl, does not matter. I just want to let y'all know. I just want to put that out there right now. It does not matter. And the reason why it does not matter is because his defense been lights out. And according to Joe Jordan, if your defense plays well, he counted against you. That's what I've heard. Now, I might not agree with the take. I might push back on the take. On the take. I mean, most quarterbacks that win Super Bowls have elite defenses, especially the quarterbacks that win multiple Super Bowls. They have elite defenses, right? So that's a common theme, right? But I just want to put that out there for the Drake May fans and the Patriots fans. I want to just put y'all on game now when it's time to say Drake May is elite. Drake May is top 5. Drake May, even if he's, let's just say, second team All Pro this year, which he might be. Even if he goes out and wins Super Bowl MVP, which is possible, set Super Bowl records, all of that, but he still won't be one of those guys, because look at how the defense played. I just want to put y'all on game early, only just to let y'all know, right? Now, getting to the games, or getting to the game. To me, I have to vehemently and strongly disagree with the notion that Sean Payton made a bad decision on that 4th and 1. I stand by it. I understand they lost the game by 3 points. If that was your take, and I'm sure it was in the moment, you should take the points. I know for sure for others, hindsight is 2020. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it looks crazy now. But if you get that conversion, right, and you score a touchdown there, given how the rest of the game goes, you seal the deal. You win the game. And there's two sides to having a backup quarterback, right, in there, if you're the Broncos. You went into this game saying, if you're Sean Payton, hey, the fans will have, time to rest up, because it'll be 2 weeks. They'll have time. I think it was the fans he was saying they'll have time to rest up and be amped, for the Super Bowl. He went into this game instilling confidence in the fan base, instilling confidence in the team, acting as if no matter who we have back there at quarterback, we're going to play our game. We're not going to change anything. And I believe, in all honesty, in some cases, that is the way to go, especially if you want your backup quarterback to play confident, if you want your team to play confident. I'm going to show my confidence in my backup quarterback in the 4th and 1 in the red zone. We got the Pats on their heels. I'm going to instill this confidence to say, I'm going to give you an opportunity to go for this 4th down. Understanding that, again, points are at a premium. Understood. Especially if you know the snowstorm is coming. So if there's ever a time to be aggressive, that's the time to be aggressive. Because I know my defense can lock down. If I score a touchdown here, they're going to have a hard time putting up 14 points, which ultimately they did. Now, like I said, looking back on this, it's like, oh, maybe you should take the points. Maybe you should have took the field goal, because then it's, later on they score. It's a 10-10 ball game, things of that nature. We understand that. But in the moment, watching the game while I was working, but watching the game, I'm like, I agree. Now, I might not have liked the play call. I might not have liked, him going with the run and then switching to a pass last minute. I might not have liked the play call, but the notion that, hey, we're going to go for this 4th down. We got the other team on their heels. They're backpedaling, and this could be a play that seals the deal early on and instills confidence in our backup quarterback and instills confidence in the team that says, hey, we're not playing to lose. We're playing to win with a chance to get to the Super Bowl. Hey, go get it. I'm not, if I'm a Broncos fan, I am not with it. Or I'm with it, I should say. I am with that confidence and that aggression that says, hey, we trying to get to the Super Bowl. Not only are we trying to get to the Super Bowl, we're trying to win. So I get it. On the Patriots side, the defense is elite. I think the defense has been pretty elite all season long. It's been slept on because of the teams that they have played. And we talked about it all season long. They haven't played this team, or they haven't played the best in the league. When they played Buffalo, they did give Buffalo a run, but we saw Buffalo ended up being the 7th seed anyway, and maybe not as good as we thought, right? And so they played the Buccaneers. They beat the Buccaneers, but then the Buccaneers fell off. Maybe they weren't as good as we thought they once, as we thought they were. And so we felt like all season long they hadn't played anybody. But that's not the takeaway from how well this defense is played. Now, we're going to talk about Seattle a little bit. That's going to be a whole nother challenge, a challenge that you could argue they haven't seen all season, right? But like you said, Joe, They clamped up the Chargers, they clamped up the Texans, and they did their thing against the Broncos, against the Sean Payton that had time to prep. This is Sean Payton, right? He can scheme up an offense, especially, you got a backup in there. The Pats don't really know what to expect. Stidham hasn't played a ton, so you got a little bit of film, but not a lot, right? So maybe you can scheme and they went out there and they clamped them up, and obviously the snowstorm helped. I didn't like the way the Patriots played. They reminded me of us with the conservativeness. Like, we just going to run the ball and the defense going to go win this game. I don't think that gets you a Super Bowl championship. I don't think they play like that in the Super Bowl. But I don't think that gets you a Super Bowl championship. So I hated that aspect of it. But on the flip side of it, they did what they had to do to win the game. And they won the football game. Drake May did take the boot to the play action boot to the left side of the field, get the first down, and seal the deal. So, shout out to the Pats. Don't want to take away from them, because to get to the Super Bowl is hard. Don't want to take too much away from Drake May, because even though he hasn't played the best, he has done what has been necessary. He's even been turning the ball over a little bit, but he's still done what's been necessary to get the team to the Super Bowl. He's still outperformed every quarterback he's going up against, similar to some other guys I know. But again, we not, you gotta go to that lane right there. But I respect the fact that they're in the dance. And I'll say this, because I know we're gonna get to Super Bowl when it's time, but I do want to get this out here, and I want to tell Patriots fans this. Drake May probably will finish, in my opinion, and he should, second team All-Pro behind Matt Stafford. He should probably be second in MVP voting, right behind Matt Stafford, in my opinion. And I said the same thing. I don't want to make the comparison, but I said the same thing about Jalen Hurts in the playoffs in 2022, because he had the solid game against a really good game, in my opinion, against the Giants. And then he kind of had like a game against the Niners. Obviously, Brock Purdy got knocked out. So the run game really got going, didn't have to do as much. But I said going into the Super Bowl, this is what Jalen Hurts did all season long as far as how great he was. He's due for a game. Drake May is due for a game. Now, he's getting ready to play against a very elite defense, but he is due for a 4-touchdown type of game. And it couldn't come at a better time if he can get it in this Super Bowl. So I want to put that out there. Don't sleep. He might go out there and show out, because it's been a while, and he's proven, at least this year, to be a really good player. But yeah, shout out to the Pats. I feel bad for the Broncos. I really do. I think they were the better team, in all honesty, if Bo Nix plays. But that's the nature of the beast, man. That's the nature of the beast.
Facts. And Drake May, All Pro came out. He's second team.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
So AJ, a few things. All right. All right. First, let's address the game first.
Okay.
So I know you disagree with me what you said with the points, right? Now, why be aggressive when you have a backup quarterback and it's an AFC Championship game?
Give him confidence.
This is not the time to give him confidence. It's the time to win a game. You go up 10-0, now you can play conservative the rest of the game, and the game is over. But because it's 7-0, it's a one-possession game, it leaves that little bit of, that hope for the Patriots. 2 possessions in that game, their only touchdown came from the fumble, right? It came from the fumble. And we saw that fumble happening because about 2 or 3 plays before they, not 2 or 3 plays, 2 or 3 times before that even happened, there were times I'm just screaming at the TV, throw the ball away, throw it away. Even Tony Romo at one time was like, throw it away, throw it away, throw it away. He just be holding the ball too long, trying to make a play. So that's why I'm like, I was not surprised by that fumble. So I still disagree with you with that. Now, back to your Jalen Hurts statement. Hey,
wait. That was about Jalen Hurts? I didn't even know. I didn't even know.
You read my notes. I mean, Hurts wasn't this bad. So don't disrespect Hurts by doing this, all right? You disrespected Hurts by comparing to Drake May in this situation. All right. Now, Drake May, although he had a good regular season, like Jalen Hurts, right? He had a good regular season, and he was second team All Pro like Hurts, all that stuff. Here's the thing, though. Drake May not one time has been tested to score points. Not one time this playoff run. I don't remember Jalen Hurts having more turnovers than touchdowns. I don't remember him not happening. So he had more turnovers and touchdowns going into this game. And in this game, he did not turn the ball over. He did have a touchdown, but he only had 84 yards. And people say, "Oh, it was
84
the
yards
weather
passing.
It was the weather." It was before the weather messed up. He wasn't good, so I don't want to hear about the weather. He was missing. He almost threw a pick on the first pass.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, as good as your defense was, AJ, all I know is this was the fewest points somebody has scored in the Super Bowl run. You know that? The fewest in history. The Giants scored 68. The Ravens scored 61. You know, Ray Lewis, just give us 10 points and we got you. Please give us 10 points and I promise you, we got you. Right. Also like, bro, just give us 10 and we got you. And that's what's been the case for real with them, right? You give them 10 points and they been allowing 8 points a game, AJ, which is crazy. And look, so 54 points for the Patriots, 61 for the Ravens. So I think you're doing your guy a disservice by comparing them to Drake May's run. Because your guy, all his runs has been better than this, I would say. One thing your guy don't do, he don't turn the ball over. And no, it's against my team. And people try to say like Jaden Daniels did this in garbage time. People don't understand. The Commanders and Eagles game wasn't not a complete blowout. It got out of hand in the fourth quarter. It was a game. And Jalen Hurts performed. Jalen Hurts had to put up points, and he put up points. So did Saquon, but Jalen Hurts did his thing. You know what I mean? So Jalen Hurts did his thing against the Giants. He did his thing against the what's the name? Who y'all played after that? Y'all played the 49ers. I mean, he already do his thing. But yeah, you get what I'm saying, right?
Against the Chiefs.
You get the Chiefs, right? But in the 2 games you played in that year, you scored more points than 54, didn't you? I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah,
so this is not me killing Drake May. This is Teddy in the comments. Preach, AJ, preach. I'm like, Teddy, you sure? Because it's about to backfire. Because I'm about to up Hurts and kick your guy down for a little bit. So, like Carl said, he's having I'm not even going to say Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow actually had a good offensive game against the Raiders. So I'm not even going to say Joe Burrow. He is literally having a Brad Johnson type playoff run right now, which is crazy. Like a Brad Johnson type playoff run. Now, is he a Brad Johnson type player? No. Because we saw in the regular season, he's an MVP candidate. He has a talent. Brad Johnson don't have the talent Drake May had. Drake May could use his legs. He could make every throw. And Drake May's in his second year also. You could tell he was jittery in the pocket and in our Broncos game. You could tell he was. Even Romo mentioned it, like he's a little jittery. He's a youngster. He's a youngin still. So he will get better. And him winning early will help him also. But come on, man, you're doing your guy a disservice to compare him to this run.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. I'm not necessarily comparing Jalen Hurts to this run. I'm just more so comparing the take to what we see during this playoffs. Because not only do we see quarterbacks, winning with these great defenses, we see quarterbacks losing with great defenses too. I mean, we just saw CJ Stroud. I mean, he might have had the best defense in the playoffs, but he played so bad that he still ended up losing. So my overlying thing is like, I just want to caution the Patriots fans and other fans of quarterbacks, and it's just like, hey, I just want to let y'all know that when it's time to rank, Joe Jordan, he gonna look at how good your defense is, and if your defense was like that, that's true. But that defense is gonna play a big role, and if that defense was elite, he gonna take something away. I mean, did you know? I did want to say this because this stuck with me last episode. So just bear with me 1 second.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you know? First of all, I'm gonna give you some names. Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Teddy Bradshaw, Troy Aikman.
Teddy Bradshaw. I go ahead.
Terry Bradshaw. My bad. Terry Bradshaw.
No. I get you saying. I know you're talking about, but
got you. Ben Roethlisberger, John Elway, Bart Starr, Roger Staubach. Do you know what all of these guys have in common, Joe?
What is that?
Number one, they're all champions.
Uh-huh.
But they've never, ever won a Super Bowl without a top 10 scoring defense. Did you know that, Joe?
Okay.
They don't have not one Super Bowl championship. Everybody that I mentioned as well have multiple championships. They've never won any championship without a top 10 scoring. Forget getting a stop. Top 10 scoring defense, Joe. So I'm just looking at these numbers, And I'm just like, man, so like going off of this, right? I kind of got to take away Brady's first couple rings because, you know, he ain't really had to do much, you know, for them rings, right? You got to look at John Elway a little differently because, you know, John Elway didn't really have to. He made a couple, you know, made that. I don't know if you saw the documentary on Netflix.
He made 3.
He made, you know, he had that big old play. He jumped over. I think it was jumped over for a first down, got knocked, did the little helicopter in the air, hit the ground, all that, right? Got a first down, big time plays. All of these guys made, you know, obviously Troy Aikman made big time plays in the postseason too. Like all of these guys made huge plays, but they couldn't win without a top 10 scoring defense. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, I just wonder if when Joe Jordan talks about my guy, right? When he talks about my guy, if he also thinks to himself, dang, like, I got to snatch some of these rings and some of these accolades away from these other guys too. Or let me not put it like that. I got to snatch some of my respect from these other guys too, because they didn't win without really good defenses. Their defenses had to go out there and make plays for them to win. Otherwise, they never won. I don't know. Does that? Because I remember Joe Jordan when I listed all of the games that Hurts played well. I heard my boy Joe Jordan say his rebuttal was, "But did the defense play good?" I said he played good in the Giants game. He said, "Well, was the defense good?" Well, he played good in the Chiefs game. Well, was the defense good? Well, he played good against y'all. Oh, was the defense good? I'm like, yo, what's going on? Well, he never won without his defense playing good. And I'm like, well, neither of these other guys. It's just I don't know. It's crazy, but you know, it is what it is. I'll let you rebut before we go back to the Seahawks. I forgot even what my other point was. I think we was talking about Sean Payton and him going for it and whatnot. But I just had to just list that off for you, man, because that stuck with me. And I was like, man, let me do a little research. And then shout out to Kay Adams because she put me on that graphic too. I didn't pull it up on the screen, but she put it. I was like, oh, I'm going to use this. Thank you so much. Yeah, man. Just have to put that out there, especially given the fact that, you know, we see some other quarterbacks with, and I ain't going to mention no names. I ain't going to do that.
So
we see some guys with some number 1 defenses and some number 2, number 3, top 5s.
All right. So are we? So what are we talking about? So we talking about the difference between how you can win the Super Bowl, or are we talking about how you can be elite? Which one are we talking about?
I mean, I think
because we just mentioned Eli Manning got 2. With a good defense, right?
Eli's
Brad Johnson got 1 with a defense. Trent Dilfer got 1 with a defense. We about to see your boy Sam Darnold might get 1 with a defense.
I was gonna get to him too.
You need defense to win the championship. But when we're talking about elites, it's a different conversation. It's just more than winning a Super Bowl because that's a team effort. But what did you contribute in that Super Bowl run? What do you contribute in that? How do you get there? And the guys like John Elway, Tom Brady, we talking about MVPs right there, my guy.
That's true.
See, one thing about Tom Brady, his first 3, people were still questioning him. I'll take Peyton. I'll take. And you know, the year that solidified Tom Brady, it was the year he lost 16-0. When you gave him a receiver, what he do? When MVP went crazy. And he showed everybody, I'm him. And he lost that year. So I get it. You know what I mean? Because like I said, like Drake May. If Drake May win a Super Bowl, are we gonna say he the best quarterback in the league? You know what I mean? So it's more than that. You gotta be being an elite is more than just winning the Super Bowl. So yeah.
That's fair. I'm very interested in seeing where you rank Drake May, because that's gonna be an interesting conversation. Man, like at the end of the season.
Ranking people period next year gonna be interesting.
Yeah. And then you know
this is a crazy year.
And then Sam Darnold, who was kind of MIA in that first playoff game against the Niners, but they really didn't need him to do much because special teams took over, defense took over. But then he went out there and had one of the best NFC Championship games we may have ever seen against a division rival, Rams, that they just beat 31-27. Joe, getting to that game, how you feel about that one?
I mean, you know, that was very smooth, AJ. That was really smooth.
Thank you.
You threw me off right there. That was very smooth.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Even though I think I was technically supposed to go first on that
one. Go ahead. I'm gonna throw back at you. Go ahead. You kick this one off. Go ahead.
Okay. Bet. Yeah,
that's
man.
Your boy Sam Darnold, you know.
Yeah, man. So my boy Sam Darnold. So I'm glad you said that, Joe. I got to give Sam Darnold his props and his respects. I got to start off from that point because all season long, right? Well, let's go back from the beginning. We know Sam Darnold's history leading up to the Vikings. I'm not gonna harp too much on that because at this point, it's irrelevant. The man's in the Super Bowl, so we ain't got to talk about all of the mishaps he had early in his career. A lot of that, I think, at this point, looking back, we can attribute that to the New York Jets and their organization because we see how they operate and we see what they're on, right? So now you get to the Minnesota Vikings. He wins 14 games with the Minnesota Vikings, but then he gets to the two biggest games of the year. One game to get the number 1 seed in the NFC, another game to advance in the postseason. He looks awful in both games, and all of the old thoughts come back about Sam Darnold not being that good. Sam Darnold can't win the big one. And I personally, I said this is why I didn't believe in Sam from the get-go. I told Vikings fans all last season, I said, I don't care how many games they win. Sam is going to have to show me he can win when it counts. He can win when it matters. And sure enough, when it mattered, he failed. Not only, like I said, did he lose that game against Detroit, but he also went into the playoffs and lost that game against the Rams. And he was the reason. The offensive line didn't play well, especially against the Rams, but he was absolutely the reason why they lost that game, those two games. So coming into this season, I got the same mindset. I went back and forth with Seahawks fans all year. Y'all ain't nothing. Y'all ain't this. I don't care about your defense. I don't care about JSN. I don't care about Kenneth Walker, who is balling, by the way. Oh, my God. You see that movie hit? Oh, boy, Witt in the backfield? Oh, my goodness. He is playing out of his mind. I don't care nothing about your coaching staff. You might have had a coach of the year. I don't care nothing about that. Why? Because you have Sam Darnold at quarterback, and when you need him most, you can count on him to fold. He didn't get an opportunity, like I said, against the Niners to really impact it in a positive or true negative way, in my personal opinion. Like, he could have threw some picks, but it really was everyone else kind of taking over for him in that football game. He kind of game managed, which I ain't mad at as a Hurts fan. Sometimes you just got to game manage, get to the next game, especially in the postseason. But then you get to the NFC Championship game, and Joe, we didn't do Unfazed. We didn't give a prediction, but I'll tell the people I was rocking with the Rams. I thought not only was the Rams going to win, I thought the Rams would win by double digits. That's what I honestly thought, because we saw how Sam Darnold performed against the Rams in the regular season. He was abysmal. He did not play well. And I looked at the Rams, who I viewed as a hot football team. Matt Stafford playing on another level. Devontae Adams, playing well. Puka Nacua playing out of his mind. A defense that I felt like kind of had the answers to the test for the Seattle Seahawks. And at every turn, Sam Darnold went out there and made play after play after play. Now, yes, you could blame a lot of this game on the muff punt by the Rams, right? You could blame a lot of this game on the Rams defense, right? A lot of that can be talked about. A lot of that can be discussed. And Joe, if you want to harp on that, feel free to do so. But I just feel the need to give respect to a guy who I've been disrespecting for a while now. He went out there and, 300-something passing yards, 3 touchdowns. You can't play much better than how Sam Darnold played in the biggest game of his career to get his team to the Super Bowl. And this wasn't a game by which your defense played lights out. This wasn't a game by which, the defense cared. No, you had to step up because Stafford was going to score. Devontae Adams was going to get his. Puka Nacua was going to get his. The run game on the other side of the ball was going to get theirs. And Sean McVay, who was amped about this game, seemed like he had a game plan that was attacking the Seattle Seahawks defense like we have not seen before. This year specifically. And yet and still, like I said, at every turn, Sam Darnold came back and responded. So I got to give credit to the Seahawks. I think they should be the favorite to win the Super Bowl. I'm not giving my Super Bowl pick yet. But I think if you had to pick a favorite, I think they should be the favorite. That defense is elite, right? That defense is elite. They're elite on the offensive side of the ball as well, especially if you get the run game going. JSN. We might have to start having some conversations about who the best receiver in the league again. We might have to reopen that up because he is cooking, been cooking all season long, and is now cooking in the playoffs, which we can't say about every receiver. right, that we view as elite in the NFL. Sometimes they don't have the greatest playoff runs, but JSN is cooking. Shout out to Seattle, man. They look they look like they like I said, they look like they should be the favorite. And then on the Rams side of things, a lot was riding on this game for Matt Stafford. You had some analysts coming out saying Matt Stafford, if he won this game, Matt Stafford could go down as maybe a top 10 quarterback of all time. If he won the Super Bowl, he could get to like top 8, top 7. Guys like Dan Orlovsky, who I know they're friends, but he was pushing that narrative, and he was convincing. Like, look at the numbers, look at the resume. He will have an MVP by the end of this season. He'll have 2 trips to the Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowl championships, probably at least 1 Super Bowl MVP when it's all said and done. And he's still adding to it. I think inching up on like top 7 or top 5, somewhere around in there, and passing yards for his career. Like, he's inching up at certain accolades and certain statistics that put him in that class with the best of the best. And honestly, he played like it. He played like it's like he played to me. Stafford played like that was also on his mind. I know that's kind of hard to say because it's a team sport and you're trying to get to the Super Bowl and you want to play your best to get to the bowl. But the way Stafford played like a dog all game long. You score, I score. You score. Yeah, we ain't giving it up, you know. And I think ultimately it came down to yet another 4th down decision for the Rams, where they decided to go for 4th and 4. And just like I said about Sean Payton, I was a little leery about this one just because you had the opportunity to break it down to, you know, a 1-point game, right? If you kick the field goal there. But I yet again agree with the 4th down decision. It's 4th and 4. The defense has not been playing well. I'm going to give the ball to Matthew Stafford and give him an opportunity to submit this thing or at least take the lead, opposed to giving it to a defense that they got to stop all game. And unfortunately, the play call was great. You had like 8, 9 guys in coverage, couldn't find anyone open. And in my opinion, that was the game. I knew when they didn't get that first down, they was probably going to lose. That touchdown, they was probably going to lose. That was it. And so shout out to Seattle. Shout out to Stafford. Shout out to Devontae Adams, too. I feel so bad. I think that's his like 5th NFC championship or 4th NFC championship that he's lost and not been able to advance to the Super Bowl. So he was emotional after the game. I know that was a tough pill to swallow. But nevertheless, man, somebody got to win. Somebody got to lose. It was a great game. Shout out to Seattle, man. They off to the bowl.
Yeah, man. Going back to Stafford, if he would have won the Super Bowl this year and MVP, he would have had a good case because people would have said, imagine if he would have went with the Rams from the beginning. He was in Detroit. He wasted his career in Detroit. As soon as he got into a good situation, he started winning. So I want to get that. And you're right. That 4th down play, I mean, it showed. Once they didn't get the 4th down, they didn't get another stop. So it was over. I do want to give a shout out to Karen right here. All right. Shout out to you for subscribing.
We appreciate that. Definitely. Right. Tell all your people about it, man.
Yup. So great game, great series, because this is the 3rd time they played each other. And it was something, AJ, a stat, it said that 1 win separated them in history, 1 yard separated them. It was crazy. That's how close in a small margin these teams were. And the last 2 games, Stafford has lit this defense up. And this is an elite defense. He was throwing some incredible passes. He threw one to Parkinson, like over the top of the defender. Tyreek Woodland was talking trash, and then the very next, he got a penalty. The very next play, he throws a dime to Puka Nacua for a touchdown on Woodland. I mean, they were going at it.
Dog.
Yeah, I mean, I love Puka. You know, I had Puka high on my receiving rating. You know, some people didn't agree with me, but that's another conversation. All right. But so I think what blew the game was the muff punt. The muff punt blew the game. I know we don't want to blame special teams, but special teams been killing the Rams all year. All year. You know firsthand. I mean, we saw all year. Look at the last time they lost to the Seahawks. Special teams. Rashid Shaheed ran a punt return back. So special team has been hurting the Rams all season, and it backfired. And I think he got I think they fired the special team coach early in the year. I think got a new one. And they still having these issues. And the dude that muffed the punt month earlier, but recovered. They should have took him on the game then. Like we ain't got time for this. Currents, go back there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was that. Another reason why they lost this game. As good as Matthew Stafford was, AJ, Sam Darnold was just better. And this is where he was better at on third down. Matthew Stafford and the Rams were 1 for 8 on third down. Sam Darnold was 7 for 13, over 50%. So it's hard to beat a team that's over 50% on third down.
Yep.
They're not getting off the field, and they got that defense over there. Like, and you're going 1 for 8. So Matthew Stafford couldn't get it done on the money downs. And on the money down, this is what I love about this division. You got Kyle Shanahan, offensive genius. You got Sean McVay, offensive genius. And you got this young buck coming from Baltimore as a defensive coordinator, come over here with his defensive mindset and like, I'm going to come in this division and challenge these boys. People forget they won 10 games last year with Geno Smith, and they didn't make the playoff with 10 games. You know, there was some other teams in there, you know, that got them out the, you know, that got some wins. That the reason why they couldn't make it, but I'm sorry, you know, that's last year. That's old news, right? But they couldn't make it. They didn't make the playoffs, and they come back this year and get the number 1 seed. And guess what? On that last 4th down play, it was a chess match. It was Sean McVay against Mike McDaniel. Mike McDonald. What did Mike McDonald do? He put everybody at the line of scrimmage. Stafford like, oh, it's a blitz. And as soon as he hiked the ball off, they bailed, they double Puka, and they double Devontae Adams. And he panicked. And you watch, he had a clean pocket, and he rushed it. Yeah. Because he just felt pressure, but it was no pressure there. So that was Mike McDonald drawing that up to the T and out coaching Sean McVay. I would say fooling. I'm not gonna say out coach Sean McVay, but he fooled Matthew Stafford at that moment, the MVP. So Mike McDonald.
There it is.
Picker. Mike McDonald, right? That man, that was a coach move right there. And I gotta give him props for that. So yeah, and after that happened, it was over. Like you said, they didn't get a stop at all.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, the Seahawks been a team all year that even though they were good, I slept on them all year. I just didn't believe, bro. And maybe that's my Eagle fandom coming out because I always felt like we was the best and we was going to show it when it mattered. Obviously, we didn't. Obviously, we fell short to the team that they smoked and just missed up the following round, right? But I always felt like I did. I was just like, yo, like Seahawks fans, like y'all ain't done nothing. Y'all ain't like I just was like, man, like y'all talk about we ain't beat y'all in forever. We ain't had to beat y'all to accomplish nothing over the last, which was facts. Like we haven't had to go through y'all. But this year, like y'all the team to beat in the NFC. Going forward next year, y'all are the team to beat in the NFC. Like you gotta respect it. You gotta respect the journey of Sam Darnold. You gotta respect the journey of the coaching staff. You gotta respect the journey of that defense. Kenneth Walker. Like this team is well-rounded. They're well coached. To beat the Rams in that spot, like I thought the Rams were Super Bowl destined, and they played offensively like they were. But like you said, Joe, special teams and their defense was the reason why they lost almost every game that they lost this year. When they needed that defense most, they could not get a stop. They couldn't really get pressure on Sam Darnold at all. And that's what it boils down to with Sam Darnold is pressure. If you allow Sam to sit back there all day, he gonna dot you up. But when you start getting that pressure on him, get the 2, 3, 4 sacks, then it start, which is not really, when you think about it, if I'm being honest, some quarterbacks respond to it better. Like, it don't matter how many times you hit Matt Stafford, he going to get up and he going to throw the ball the same way he threw it, whether you getting pressure on him or not. Like, some quarterbacks don't really show the effect of that. But we've seen great elite quarterbacks look differently when they start to take those hits. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, all of those guys look different when the pocket collapses. So I guess overall, especially now looking at Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl, maybe it's not fair to get on him as much when he's not as protected because there's elite guys that don't look the same when they're not protected. So, like I said, I just say all that to say, I'm giving that man his just due. Now, that's not to say, Sam, you get to that Super Bowl and you start,
exactly.
because again, they should be the favorite, and you're going up against a defense that probably will get pressure. That defensive line been getting home this year. So it's like this is going to be a great test for him against a really good secondary, right? I think they're going to scheme it up on that side of the ball. Like this should be interesting. If he folds, these same narratives going to kick back up. But at the same time, on a day like today, leading up into the Super Bowl, I think Sam deserves the benefit of the doubt right now and our respect, and we'll see what he does, in the big game.
I do want to say this. All right, the Patriots they've been averaging 31 pressures a game in these playoffs. That's insane. But Sam Darnold, the touchdown he got right after the mud punt, he got hit. He sat in that pocket and he got hit and he threw a touchdown. So he made plays. He did get pressure at times, but he did not get rattled. But with him, you gotta, like you said, you constantly pressure him. He would throw the football to you. That's his issue. Like he came out and said that he see ghosts. You know what I mean? That he saw ghosts. So that's his issue. But this is a hump he got over, and maybe mentally he'll be ready. But like you said, Super Bowl, let's see what happens. But I want you to start this one off, all right? If you don't, okay. All right. So we got a lot of coaching hires that happened. A whole lot of coaching hires, and some that didn't happen. But we're gonna get to that. But we got a lot that happened. And you got the Mike McCarthy, you got this, you got that. A lot's happened. A lot of teams. We had the most coach fires we had in a long time, and most of them are filled up for 2 positions. All right. We actually got one today. Tom Monken signed with the Cleveland Browns. So AJ, out of all the head coaching hires that you've seen so far this all season, which one you think is the best and the biggest impactful?
So I got one that I think we probably will agree on. I'm not 100% sure yet. And then I got one that I'm going to mention because I think it deserves to be mentioned because I do think it's going to have impact. But the first one for me is an obvious one. I love that John Harbaugh move to the New York Giants. I really like that John Harbaugh moved to the New York Giants. The longer I sat with it, the longer I thought about it. I said, I think that's a great hire for them. Now, I get it. Ravens fans in the comments, what? That's terrible. He gonna do this. He ain't gonna run the ball. Y'all had to understand this. The Baltimore Ravens had Super Bowl expectations. They had Lamar Jackson. They had this great defense. They had this roster that everybody expected to make this run. Not only this year, but years in the past, especially with Lamar playing at MVP level. The expectation is at an all-time high. When you don't meet those expectations, sometimes you harp on your coach a little bit more, right? You I won't say over criticize because he deserves to get criticism, right? But you tend to harp on it a little bit more because the expectation and the hype for him getting the team over the hump is so high, right? So in this case, I understand that their frustration, but that's not the case for the New York Giants, right? I think at times, and I could be wrong, but I think at times it got to a point where obviously John Harbaugh relationship with Lamar Jackson probably was not the same. Maybe in some of those meetings, John Harbaugh's voice started to kind of fall on deaf ears because guys in the locker room like, all right, we done heard this too many times. Voice probably got stale to the locker room. That's not the case in New York, who has a young core, a young quarterback, young running back, right? You bring in the guy now who has, and I know it's been a while, Ravens fans, but bear with me, championship experience. But even if you take that out, because again, nobody's expecting the New York Giants to go to the Super Bowl, just like nobody expected the New England Patriots to be in the Super Bowl this past year, right? But even if you take that out, you got a guy that's been to the playoffs 12 times in the time he's been with the Ravens. He's been a champion of the AFC North 6 times. He's been at 4 AFC championship games. He just led the team to 14 wins in 2019. This is overall, despite what you hear about him, he is a winning head coach. And you need that culture in New York in a division where you're going to have to see Dallas, who I expect to be better next season. You're going to have to see Washington, who I expect to be better next season. You're going to have to see a hungry Philadelphia Eagles team fresh off of getting bounced in the first round. They're going to be hungry next season. You bring in a hungry, established head coach to lead the charge, and a voice that's going to resonate in that locker room, a voice that's going to get to the younger crowd in the locker room, who's now the leaders of the locker room, right? And a guy like Jackson Dart, I think this is going to be a massive hire for the New York Giants. I'm not going to go on a limb and say that they're going to go off and they go win the Super Bowl. And I'm not even at the moment. I don't know the schedules. I got to see it all break down. I'm not going to go off and say they even going to make the playoffs next year. But what I'm saying is for the future, some would argue, I'm sure most would argue, that they just got the best coach in their division. I know some people think he's better than Harbaugh. I know some people think he's better than the coach y'all got over there in Washington. Don't get me started on what they got over there in what was that?
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn, right. I know. Don't even get me started on what's going on over there in Dallas. All right, don't just don't. And I'm blanking on his name too. He's not bad, but he ain't great either. He ain't John Harbaugh. So some people gonna say they have the best coach right now in the division. They might end up being the best coach team potentially in the division. So I think overall, this is a building block type of move, and I think you set a solid foundation for the New York Giants. Yes, thank you for that, Scotty. I think you set, Schottenheimer, yep. I think you set a very solid foundation for the New York Giants going forward. Like, I love that move the more I think about it. Now, the second move I want to bring up.
Okay.
And I hate it because it's within division again. Dallas Cowboys picking up Christian Parker. Okay. Yeah, as defensive coordinator. I love that move as well. I think he's going to be great in that role. Young guy. Our secondary is not what our secondary is without Parker back there. Now, granted, I don't know who we're going to replace him with just yet. I like to think a lot of the guys are already not fully developed, but already coming into who they are as players. And you still have Vic Fangio, right? So that obviously helps. Yeah. But Christian Parker over there with Dallas, right, on a team who struggled defensively all year long, especially when they couldn't get pressure on the quarterback, which they really struggled to do all season long. The secondary, they got fried up by everyone in the league. You had a guy like that, a young guy who can grow into being a great defensive play caller. On its face value, I like the move for Dallas. And then on the flip side of that, you take away a coordinator from Philly. You take away a guy that was super instrumental in the Philadelphia Eagles secondary being what it was. So I like that move for Dallas as well at the defensive coordinator position. But I think the biggest move so far to me, and there have been some other moves for sure, but I think the biggest move to me is Harbaugh to the New York Giants.
I ain't gonna lie, I was shocked you picked Harbaugh. Because I disagree with you on that one.
Interesting. Okay.
I think John Harbaugh is probably the most overrated move in this all season.
Wow, really?
Most overrated move. Yes, I think it's overrated.
The Ravens fans that got to you, bro.
No, I mean, look at the facts. John Harbaugh won the Super Bowl in 2012. In the next 5 years, he missed the playoffs 4 times.
Fair.
And made the playoffs 1 time until he got Lamar Jackson. And before he got Lamar Jackson, they were terrible. They're like 1-6, and Lamar came there and got on a winning streak, and then they made the playoffs. Since Lamar been there, they've been relevant. When Lamar don't play, since he been in the league, John Harbaugh is 4-10 without Lamar Jackson. So Lamar is the Ravens. When Lamar's not there, the Ravens aren't good. All right, they went 4-5. They went 4-5. Then Lamar started, and then they ended up finishing 10-6. Lamar went 6-1. So Lamar saved his bacon. Shout out to Skip Bayless. Now, would you say Jackson Dart can do that? Maybe. I don't know. But we also talking about the coach who has the most double-digit wins since 2012. Sorry, double-digit loss. Lost. He gave up the most double-digit.
There it is.
He lost the most games while winning by double digits. There you go. All right.
I knew what you was getting at.
For the people watching at home, he chokes. And you watch the Ravens, they lose in ways you gotta say it's the coach. Because they lose every way I could think about losing, they have done it. the way they lost to the Steelers, I haven't seen it, and they did it. I mean, we talking about like a game-winning kick to go to the playoffs, and they ain't even missed that one. So John Harbaugh, I feel like he's overrated, and I feel like he's past his time. So when they hired him, I wasn't like, if people saying that he the best coach in our division, I'm like, okay, all right. I wasn't shaking in my boots when he signed with the Giants. So let me say that. Now, what I think the best coaching, the best coaching hire so far, Tennessee Titans. They hired Robert Saleh. I love that move. People killed Robert Saleh when happened with New York. That wasn't his fault. First of all, he get there. Who is quarterback? Zach Wilson. And every year he was there, they won 7 games with Zach Wilson. And he had Mike White. And they were a top defense. I mean, you know that firsthand. 4 interceptions in 1 game. But I had to remind you, in case you forgot.
Nice shot.
But Robert Saleh came and that defense was like that. And then he goes to the 49ers, and we saw what he did last year. We saw what he did before he left the 49ers. And not only that, they brought in Brian Daboll to be the offensive coordinator. And you got Cam Ward, who's a quarterback who I like a lot. So last year, the Titans were 28th in scoring defense, 21st in yards per game allowed, and 28th in turnovers per game. Robert Saleh want to change that. We know that. They got a lot of cap space also. And adding Brian Daboll to the 30th ranked scoring offense, with Cam Ward being there, I think they'll be better also. Because when Jackson Dart was there, they was averaging 24 points a game, which would be around like top 12-ish, in the league right now, right? Even without him, it was averaging 23. Russell put about 40 ball in the Cowboys. I didn't see that remind Tomo and the other Cowboys about that. We swept them. But anyways, we tied with y'all. Y'all ain't swept us, so that's a whole.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That can't count. All right. But so I think Robert Saleh was the best hire because it's gonna be the biggest impact. The Titans they are picking what, 2nd in the draft, I believe. They are one of the worst teams in the league, and him being there, he's gonna have an actual quarterback to be with. And you look at it like the Tom Brady tandem, and you look at the Mike Vrabel and Drake May. You got a defensive coach with the quarterback. I think that's the way you want to go. Defensive coach, quarterback. It's only been Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, who's been winning for real with the offense lately, but lately you want to get that deep. So I think that's the best hire so far, Robert Saleh.
See, I'm not mad at the Robert Saleh thing. I do want to push back on the Harbaugh thing, though, because this is what I'll say, right? Like I said, it's all about expectation and what you expect from him given the situation that he's in. Coaching the New York Giants, who is in the 4th place in the division, is completely different than coaching the Baltimore Ravens, who are expected to win the Super Bowl. Now, what I will say is the Giants will probably get to a point at some point. I don't know when, because this division is tough. But at some point, if they have the type of trajectory I believe they have, they will get to the point where we get into the playoffs and we losing in the 2nd round or in the 1st round, whatever the case may be, and they'll need to get rid of Harbaugh and get someone else to help them get over the hump. But I'm talking about, it's New York, bro. Relevancy. It's about putting them back on the map. It's about having a voice in the locker room that they can lean on and they can listen to. It's about him instilling confidence in those young players. We can say what we want about Lamar. What we can't deny is how much confidence he instilled in Lamar early in his career. Lamar, you want to go for it? Yeah, go for it, Lamar. I love Lamar. I think Lamar is the best quarterback in the league. They had a great relationship at one point, and I think that helped Lamar from a confidence standpoint grow and become the player that he is today. Now, Lamar is Lamar. I'm not going to give Harbaugh all of the credit for that, but I'm just saying having that leader, having that voice to lean on could be huge for a young guy like Jackson Dart, who I don't think he's going to be Lamar, but he's shown flashes of being really good in the NFL. It's like, I want to say it like this, Joe. Bron been with LA and I don't want to compare Harbaugh to Bron, but bear with me. Bron been in LA all this time. And every year he in LA, as a Laker fan, I have an expectation that we at least go on the run because he's LeBron. I want to see us go on the run. I've seen him go on the run before. I see him win championships, right? And when he don't, and when he fold in the 1st round, or when he don't play the same way I expect him to play, I'm sick. I don't care if you get to the conference finals, right? If he don't play well in the conference finals and we lose, I'm gonna be sick about it, right? But just imagine for a second, old 40-year-old Bron somehow, some way ends up with the Kings. Now you don't have championship expectations because Bron is 40 years old, but Bron bringing a certain pedigree to that team. Bron lifts that floor. He lifts that floor. They're not gonna go win the finals, but he's gonna lift that floor. They're gonna be a little bit more competitive. They're gonna be a little bit more relevant. That's how I kind of view this move for the Giants, who have been terrible for the longest of times. But now they have a coach that, even though it's been a while, he has been there. He has done that, and it takes great players for any coach to win. We could bring up his record with Lamar Jackson and without Lamar Jackson, but you take away a lot of these star quarterbacks. You take Stafford away from the Rams. You take Hurts away from the Eagles. You take Patrick Mahomes away from the Chiefs look terrible without Patrick Mahomes. Like,
look at us about 85. Two games.
There you go. You take the starting quarterback, especially when they're as good as Lamar Jackson. You take them off of that team. Yeah, the team gonna look abysmal because it's Lamar Jackson, it's Jaden Daniels, it's whoever you want to insert, in that seat. And so that's why I just feel like overall, from an overall perspective, one thing I can't deny is no matter what we say about him, he's still in a new situation. Again, with a new football team, a new voice, a change of scenery. I think he's a major impact on a young team that is looking to ascend, opposed to an older veteran team that at this point we looking to get over the hump, and we've been looking to get over the hump, but you can't get us there. I think it's two different situations. I think that's why, again, you see those double-digit leads blown and stuff because they don't connect anymore. That wasn't happening as much when they connected, though. They were winning a lot. They were in the hunt a lot. I think with that young team over there in New York, I just think that he raises the floor for the New York Giants.
Yeah. The Titans 3-14, Giants 4-13.
We'll see.
I can put it in right now. Titans gonna win more games than the Giants.
Nah, bro. I don't see it.
I'm gonna put it in right now.
Yeah, let's do it. We could rock with that all next season.
Yeah, I know it's your rival, but
yeah.
I think Robert Saleh's impact will be bigger than John Harbaugh's.
Wow. Okay. And I do like the Robert Saleh move. I do like the Robert Saleh move.
What, Brian Daboll is an OC too? I love it. When they hired Robert Saleh, I said, please, go get Brian Daboll. And they went and got him because y'all said no to him.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all. Speaking of y'all, let's go right to it. You know what I mean? Yeah. We can do it if you want to. The Eagles, man, they've been on the coaching search. OC coaching search, and people are coming out and saying, you know what, I'm gonna let you clear the air. I know a lot of people saying certain things, and really, it was a report that came out that said that y'all are handling things a certain way. It's not like people are not want to work there. So, talk to us. What's going on, AJ? People want to know about Philly. You the Philly guy on the show. We get all that news from you. Give us an insight. What's going on? Why you don't have an OC yet?
I think that I think because the Eagles have been as good as they are for as long, like over the last 5 years, and because you have a quarterback that in Jalen Hurts that people like to talk about, and a head coach in Nick Sirianni that people like to talk about, there's always going to be some type of controversy around those two names paired together, especially in situations where they aren't winning, they don't look the same, and in situations where now they're in a rebuilding phase at the coordinator position, meaning offensive coordinator, and even some of the coaches staff, because we lost Clint Hunt, and that's gonna hurt too for the defensive line. And so I think what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing is I think they are doing their due diligence as far as we have to find a coordinator that is going to be here for the long haul. So while we could throw names out there like Mike McDaniel and Brian Daboll and all these different names out here, they're great names, right? But if that great name is only going to be here for a year, that means we got a 1 year window with this coach at the offensive coordinator position before best case scenario, you get all the way to the Super Bowl again. You win, but that coach that offensive coordinator becomes a head coach, and you have to pick from scraps to become your next offensive coordinator to defend your championship, which is basically what just happened last year with Kellen Moore. I think people are assuming that these coaches are coming in here and like, we don't want to coach Jalen Hurts. We don't want to deal with the AJ Brown thing. But I think if there's I want to say this. I think if there is any type of trepidation, which I don't believe this, but I want to put this out here. And I want people to hear me clearly, most notably Philly media and Eagles fans. I think that if there's any trepidation about coaching the Philadelphia Eagles, it has nothing to do with Jalen Hurts. It has nothing to do with Nick Sirianni. It might have a little bit to do with AJ may not be in there, but I don't even think that's the biggest thing. I think some people don't want to deal with the fans and don't want to deal with Philly media. I think that's a part of it. Now, I'm not going to say that's a big part of it because, I mean, it's a head coach, it's an offensive coordinator job in the NFL. You're not going to just not take a job because of the fans and the media. But that is in the back of people's minds. Like I said about the Baltimore Ravens, the expectation for the Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator is sky high. You got to come in here and do what Kellen Moore did. You got to come in here and do what Shane Steichen did, which is dial up plays to get this team to the Super Bowl. Anything short of that, unless Jay Hurts go out there and throw 4 picks, Saquon go out there and fumble twice, AJ have 2-3 more drops, they going to put it on you. They're going to say you are the reason why the Philadelphia Eagles did not get to the Super Bowl. Then you're going to have fans driving by, egging your house, right? Like how they did the guy we just let go.
Yeah,
you know, Patullo. Like guys, kids out there egging his house. Like it's so much in there. Then you got the media, the Philly media is terrible. It is the most toxic media in the National Football League. And I stand by that. I don't care if you bring up New York. I don't care what team you bring up. The Philadelphia media is the most toxic media. You lose a game, you should be the backup. You lose 2 games, you need to fire your head coach. I mean, it's like the world is coming to an end when the Eagles are not playing well. And the blame, they are quick to play the blame game. And then it leaks over into the locker room. And we saw it this year. We saw how AJ played. We saw how Hurts played at times. We saw even Saquon not even had the best year. And them talk about Saquon like he ain't fresh off a 2K yard season. And so I think that's like if I could put a percentage on it, because there's no way it's not playing in the back of your mind. I say 10% of the coach's mindset. It's like, man, if I go there though, I do have to deal. I kind of got to deal with that. Those coaches gonna look past that. But it's the ultimate boom or bust job. Either I'm going to get in here and we're going to go to the Super Bowl and I'm going to become a head coach, or I'm going to get in here, we're going to suck, and I'm going to get fired. and once you get fired, right, and it's going to be my fault. And if that happens, it's going to be hard for me to become ultimately what I want to become is a head coach. I think the Eagles are currently looking for their Vic Fangio on offense. A guy that can't become a head coach is not looking to become a head coach, and it's okay just calling plays so that you have some stability and that you have some cohesiveness amongst this offense for at least a few years, right? Opposed to every offseason we going through the same thing. I think that's what's taking them so long. I truly do. I think, again, some of the names that's been thrown out there, you see what kind of jobs they're getting, head coaching jobs. That's what they truly want. That's why the Eagles didn't even offer the Eagles didn't offer most of these guys jobs. They are interviewing guys, but they didn't offer a lot of these guys jobs. That's why now they're looking at the passing game coordinators and quarterback coaches, because they're looking at guys that you just want to take a step and sit in that step for a while before you become a head coach at the next level, because they don't seem like they want to get rid of Nick Sirianni, which I'm indifferent about. He wins a lot. I'm indifferent. I'm just indifferent about it. And so I think that's what's really going on. I think people are going to make it into something that it's not. You know, you don't hear these questions about Lamar, I think they still looking for a coordinator. You don't hear these questions about Buffalo. They got rid of their head coach. They looking for a coordinator. You don't hear guys like, oh, nobody wants to coach Josh Allen. Nobody want to coach Lamar. Like, nah, bro. These organizations take their time. They like to take, especially in the case of the Eagles, who, listen, we swung and was wrong twice. We swung, it was wrong twice. And so this year, while you still got Saquon under contract, while Jalen Hurts is 27, while Devontae is still young, right? I think the Eagles want to. I know people expect AJ gone. I think the Eagles want to hang on to AJ. Honestly, I think Howie's gonna do everything in his power to hang on to AJ and try to mend that relationship. And I'm sure he wants to bring in a head coach, or I'm sorry, an offensive coordinator that is going to mesh with AJ and make AJ want to stay too. Like, I think there is a lot that goes into this. You can't just go out there and hire anybody. And so that's why I think the Eagles are with it. I'm not mad at it. Of course, like any other fan, I would want some news to drop ASAP as coaches go off the board. It's like, okay, that would have been nice. But I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued that y'all have interviewed this many people and y'all ain't offered nobody a job yet. It's because they're looking for a specific thing in these coaches. And I also think, last thing, and I'll pitch it to you, Howie is really good at foreseeing things. He's really good at seeing the landscape of the NFL and making moves based on where the NFL is going, not where it's at. Even something like as small as like during the draft, I'm going to draft, 2 DBs instead of just one. We need DBs. I'm going to draft 2. I'm going to double up on it. Or the offensive line is really good, right? But I'm going to draft Lane Johnson replacement to train up under Lane Johnson. I'm going to draft him in the second round. You think you drafting the second round guy to start. Now I'm going to draft him to sit behind Lane for the next couple years so that when Lane is out and when he retires, we already got the next guy. Same thing we did with Jason Kelce. He's really good at looking ahead, especially when he has a team like this. And I think at this position, because he's heavily involved, I think he's also trying to pick the brain of these coordinators too. I think they're trying to see, like, how would you tweak this offense? What would you do? How would you make this? How would you make this mesh? Try to see what these coordinators are thinking and what way the league is headed. So, where are we going? And then I can make a decision based off of everything I just mentioned. So that's why I ain't tripping as an Eagles fan. I say take your time, hire the right guy. Because I'm trying to get back to the bowl. I'm watching these games. I'm like, man, I can't believe we ain't competing for this. But I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to see my dog back in the bright lights, man. So take your time, get the right guy in place, and please, for the love of God, do not hire Matt Nagy. Please.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Please. Anybody but Nagy, anybody but him. Lord have mercy. When I seen that, I said they have lost their minds if they.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I saw a report like a week, not a week ago, less than a week ago, but saying that y'all aren't offering a job, basically. You're not offering a job to nobody. And I'm with you because everybody I bring in is literally one and done. Like Jalen Hurts doing all these coordinators. And like you said, you want your Vic Fangio of an offense. That's Matt Nagy. That's Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah. I would have loved Eric Bieniemy.
Oh, for real?
I would have loved Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah. So that's how I look at it. So I'm with you. You know what I mean? Like, it should be no panicking for you, for real. I won't keep making my jokes though. But
oh yeah, of course. I mean the jokes. It's expected
in the chat. You know what I mean? But on the show, I'm gonna keep it 100.
Yeah, man. It's a jack. It's I get it. And again, like I know, like I said, shout out to Blaze. Like I know it probably is some coaches like, nah. What's the name irritated me though? Mike McDaniel, he only went to coach in warm weather, bro. Like I can't believe that, man. And what bothers me about that is, bro, you know what type of culture that kind of breeds, in my opinion.
Like he actually tried to interview for the Browns coaching job, but they wanted him to take a test, and he was like, "What?" The Browns tripping.
He went from like the Vegas to LA to, it was another spot he interviewed for that was like
all one spot.
Yeah, it's like, man, get out of here. Like, bro, I don't think we interviewed him. I don't even think we interviewed him, if I'm not mistaken. Like, we just like, man, we're gonna let him do what he do. But I'm like, dude, like, again, I'll say this and we move on. I think for lack of a better phrase, I don't want to be disrespectful, But I think when you do stuff like that and you make it clear as a coach, I only kind of want to, at least from what it looks like, the optics of it looks like I only want to coach in a certain type of weather. It kind of breeds some softness, in my opinion, bro.
That's what the
Like it kind
Dolphins
of
were.
breeds like because we saw the Dolphins. Dolphins couldn't compete when it was cold. Because you got a head coach that like you could dial it up, but like you don't even want to be out there. So
Yeah,
how you
just be
think
in the
your
box.
players feel? I mean, come on now,
Just
like
go in the cold weather. Just go to the box.
right. Like, come on, man. Like it looks crazy,
That's
man.
funny.
But the Commanders made some news, man. The Commanders making news. I'll let you take it away, Joe, because I'm honestly not sure what happened. I did not hear about what happened. So I'm gonna give you the floor, Joe. Obviously, the Commanders are out here doing what they can to get back to that NFC Championship game. I know that's the lead up to the NFC Championship game was just such an amazing feeling. The result wasn't the greatest, obviously. 55 was kind of the double nickel in Philly. That was kind of crazy, right? But leading up to the double nickel in Philly, it was a great feeling, and they want to get back to the lead up. They want to surpass. I don't know if they can, but they want to at least get back to the lead up to another double nickel potentially. So I gotta ask you, Joe, what's going on with the Commanders? How you feeling about it, man?
It's crazy because I went back and watched that game because all the Drake May guys are coming out and like,
Oh yeah, Drake
you know,
and Caleb.
yeah. So I went back and watched the game. I'm like, dog, he really didn't. He had no parts of this loss, dog. My boy, I'm watching this. I'm like, dog, like, well, all them turnovers, we score and we were down by 12. We get a stop. We get the ball, then we fumble. It's like, and there was one time we scored and y'all scored, and then we fumble on the kill return. It's like,
yeah,
like that's how y'all got up by double digits because we scored a 3, then y'all scored 7, and then we scored a field goal, y'all scored a touchdown, and then we fumble on a kill return, and then y'all scored again.
Yep.
It's like, man, talk about
corner pocket Ajae. Yeah, I remember.
So look, so this is going on. First, I'm gonna be quick. We hired David Blau. David Blau is he went to Purdue, so he's a smart guy, obviously. And he was a QB for the Vikings, the Lions, and another team. I can't think of it right now. A QB. He played quarterback, so he's been around Kevin O'Connell. He's been around Cliff Kingsbury, obviously twice with us and somewhere else. Ben Johnson spoke highly of him in the press conference. Ben Johnson said that he has a natural way of connecting with players and coaches, and he's been our quarterback coach. He's been our QB coach since Jaden's been there these last 2 years. Him and Jaden got a good relationship. They played pig when they got to throw the ball in the whatever after every practice. They got a great relationship, whatever I'm hearing. I heard a story about him, how smart he is and how fast he processes stuff. They said when he was with the Vikings, he was on the practice squad as a QB. And they traded for TJ Hawkinson mid-season, and he had to get him up to speed. He said in 4 days, he translated the whole playbook from like the Detroit playbook to the Vikings playbook. And the next game, Hawkinson had eight catches. I remember that first game, he was going crazy. It was like, dang. And he gave a credit to David Blau, how smart and how good he is. And they say he has done everything except for call plays. But he's to help Cliff Kingsbury. He said, that's my way of expressing myself is creating plays. That's what he said, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. I like that move. And this other coach we got, Durante Jones. This is one of the special. I don't know if I told you this, right? So I'm from a city. Blaze is too. Shout out to Blaze. From a city called Capitol Heights. All right. And Durante, he's from Capitol Heights.
Oh wow.
All right. Now I know your wife could probably appreciate this because the DC area and all that stuff. I had to do this one time. You might not understand, but oh, I had to one time.
Yeah, she didn't put me on to the go-go, man. She didn't put me on, man.
She didn't put you on?
I said she has. She has.
Okay, cool. So shout out to Durant. Yeah, he's from Capitol Heights, right? Yeah, shout out to the Heights, right? So he's from Capitol Heights. He's with Brian Flores the last 3 years. as a defensive back pass coordinator, a defensive backs coach and a pass coordinator. It's funny. Dallas almost got him. Dallas loved him.
Yeah.
And also with David Blau, a lot of people are saying that because Detroit tried to get him, and Detroit wanted to hire him, but we said, nah, bro, you ain't going nowhere.
We got him. Right.
You ain't going nowhere, right? You ain't going nowhere. So I know people in the Dallas building said that he's an efficient communicator. He's confident in what he preaches and all that stuff. So, like, he was well-spoken on that stuff. And also, same thing with David Blau. Like I said, with the Lions, that's the same case with the Vikings. So if the Vikings were prepared to lose Brian Flores, and if they were, he was going to get promoted to defensive coordinator. So he's been like an underrated hot topic. Now, here's the thing about these two coordinators. Dan Quinn, I don't think he's on a hot seat, but the media is saying he's on a hot seat. All right, because that's the last year.
That's silly.
All right. So, but in his situation, after the season we had, only winning 5 games, thanks to Philly with the last game we got. 5 games, he's bringing in 2 first-time coordinators who never called plays. David Blau never called plays. Durante Jones never called plays. So that's like, okay, like he could look like a genius,
right?
Or he could like, what are you thinking, Dan Quinn? So that's the only thing because I don't have nothing but hope with these 2 guys. I have a lot of hope with David Blau because of he's already been here. So like we already seen him. So if he promoted him, he sees something, and I trust Dan Quinn. But Durante Jones, he's a hometown guy. He's from the area, and it's like I hope this ain't similar to Mike McCarthy. You know what I mean? You bring him in because he's from the area.
Right. You
know what I mean? So, but I'm looking forward to it, and I'm excited that we just got the hires out the way and we can move forward.
Yeah, man, it's important, especially for y'all to get that out the way, move forward. Hopefully, they guys that stick around for a while, man. So y'all not interchanging every offseason. Cliff is an interesting name, still floating out there too.
I know y'all were interested in him.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it. Given what I've seen, I would not mind it. I think I want to try
to get a good coordinator.
I do too.
I want to try to get a really good one, and I want to see what happens.
I just want some stability, man. That's all I ask for.
And shout out to you. We doing NFL today, my boy. I know we're not doing baseball. Sorry.
You can't in that lane.
Hey, we got a show on the network called Baseball with Teddy. Make sure you follow it. Click on the description. You will see it. And he do all the baseball talk for you. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, to wrap up, do you have any quick comments on Bill Belichick being snubbed for first ballot Hall of Fame?
This is all I gotta say. If he ain't first ballot, then Tom Brady can't be first ballot.
Oh my!
That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
Oh my goodness!
Because it's ridiculous. And also, I gotta say is, I forgot Dominique Foxworth said this. It's not the Hall of Fame job to create the punishment. He already got punished for that. So if you doing that, and then if you're doing that because of the Spygate, that's not your job. That's why I don't like this. Like that's like a TO, bro. Because you had a problem with the media, you don't want to put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So I don't like it. If he's not in there for first ballot, then Tom Brady don't deserve it either. He cheated too.
That's the insanity. I think seeing that news drop on IG yesterday, Joe, I think that is the greatest snub of all time.
Yes.
I think I think that can stretch across just about any sport. I don't care if you bring up, this player didn't win MVP, this player didn't make All-Pro, this player didn't make the All-Star game, this player. I don't think there has been a greater snub of anybody in the history of sports than Bill. That's like
Phil Jackson not getting first ballot.
That's like Phil Jackson not being first ballot coach, bro. That's like saying Bron is not a first ballot Hall of Fame. Jordan not a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's like Tiger Woods isn't a first ballot. Like that makes no. It's nothing to really. And I'm not gonna lie, I did think about it for a split second when I heard about the Spygate and all of that stuff that they brought up. But come on, dog. He won. Even when you take that out of the equation,
still
Spygate and Deflategate, he still won more than well over probably 75% of the coaches that play that coached in the league, bro.
And he
Like
got
that,
two as a coordinator.
bruh. That's what 8 rings.
Yeah, he got
That's
8 rings.
that was the craziest. That's the craziest thing. That's the
No, he was
craziest thing.
eligible. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's why they voted, right?
Yeah, the new rule is it's only 1 year wait after you
Mhm.
retire. 1 year.
Yeah,
So he is eligible.
that's the craziest snub of all. The only thing that could be worse than that is exactly what you just said. They saying Tom Brady ain't first ballot, and that I just can't see a world where they
That's
do that
crazy.
to Tom. And I think and the reason why I don't see that is because Tom doing broadcasting. Everybody like Tom. Don't nobody dislike Tom Brady. Maybe his rivals, but everybody like Tom.
Mm-hmm. And Belichick
So
was mean to the media.
exactly. So I think that's gonna play a part. And I mean, I did feel like it was more so Brady than it was Belichick, especially after you saw Brady go to the Buccaneers and win a championship, and Belichick and the Patriots never the same until just recently. But at the end of the day, bruh, he don't stack them rings without Belichick and that defense that was routinely dominant just
Come
about
on.
every year. So yeah, man, that's all I gotta say. I felt like that was too big to not say anything about. That was the craziest thing I've seen in sports in a long time. So big, so crazy. I thought it was fake. I didn't think it was
Yeah,
real.
yeah. I got somebody text me. That's how I found out. I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
I got my face with that,
insanity,
and it's
insanity.
everywhere. So
Yep.
yeah, Belichick, man. I know he's upset too because he's a football guy, and they say that he like studied the history and all that stuff. Like they say that they say he used to take his kids to Canton, Ohio to visit the Hall of Fame on us. I'm like, dang, this dude, and he got snubbed. That's messed up. I feel bad for that man.
Disrespectful, bro. So
It is.
disrespectful.
Yeah. All right. If we go wrap this up, my last words are shout out to the whole Refuse to Lose Sports Network. Shout out to the whole R2L community. Shout out to Timeout, Forward Timeout. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. We appreciate all of y'all. The show doesn't run without y'all. We appreciate it. And Commanders, man, we talked about y'all. Let's see what happens. Kings, we on the fire sale. I know Giannis, he ain't coming over here. So we out of the sweepstakes. But what if Miami? I think Giannis. This is my quick tell. I think Giannis will either go to Miami or Golden State. I think it's gonna be one of those two teams. So, and if I'm Miami, I would try to go get Ja too. But I know Memphis said that we keeping Ja because Miami can give up anybody, no matter who on the court, they can make it work. You got Giannis and Ja. Shout out to Eric Spoelstra. So I think Miami should try to do that. But I think it'll be Warriors or the Heat. But yeah, shout out to my co-host AJ. You know, it's good to be back on, man. I'm excited about this Super Bowl. Not really, but I am. All right. And I'm excited to talk about some NBA for real. I'm excited to talk about some basketball starting in 2 weeks. So yeah, so that's all I got for y'all.
Yeah, man. Next episode, we will probably give our Super Bowl predictions of who gonna win the game, who gonna be Super Bowl MVP, all that good stuff. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned to that. Appreciate everybody watching on my channel, Time Out or Full Time Out, the R2L channel. Everybody watching on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever you watching, Instagram, wherever you watching, Twitch, wherever it is. Like, retweet, share, tell your friends about it, especially if you like what you see and what you hear. Eagles, man, like I said, like, look at how this playoffs has gone. Look at how these teams are coached. Look at how they are drawing up plays to get their guys open. Look at how these defenses are playing, right? Take notes, draw inspiration, get hungry. I know my dog Hurts in the gym actively working. I know Smitty and them doing the same thing. Whether AJ is back or not, I'm sure he's working. I'm sure they looking to get right back to the promised land. And I expect Howie to be a major player this offseason, not only in these coordinators, not only looking for a coordinator, but Adam Schefter tried to drop a nugget on Philly media, I think earlier today, if not yesterday, saying a coordinator might not be the only news you hear coming out of Philadelphia pretty soon.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what new. I don't know if that's like they're gonna trade AJ next week or they gonna extend some. I don't know. I have no idea what's coming. but he dropped a nugget like something big is coming, and nothing is out of the question with how. You just never know what's to come. But Eagles fans, the ones that are
sane.
The ones that are sane, the ones that are like me, that have that think logically, and the ones that have been in the trenches. Forget this Super Bowl that we just won. Forget all of the glory years that we've had recently in these last 5 years. So we've been in the playoffs. I'm talking about them Eagles fans that was there with Jeff Garcia and Kevin Cobb and them boys and Sam Bradford. Like, I'm talking about them Eagles fans that's been around. Y'all know. Be cool, be patient. This organization has given us nothing but trustworthy seasons, trustworthy actions that show us in a year where we don't play our best ball, we bounce back, we make the necessary moves to get right back in the hunt. So y'all keep doing y'all thing. Y'all, I trust y'all. Howie, I trust y'all to do what y'all got to do. Lakers, man, y'all so up and down. I don't be knowing what to make of y'all half the time. I was just feeling good about y'all the other day. I heard Kendrick Perkins say they might be a contender. Then y'all go out there and get smacked upside the head by 30. I don't know what to think about y'all right now, honestly. I want to see what the team look like when Austin Reeves get back, but I think we all know the season or the ceiling of this team. It's just gonna be what it's gonna be. But hey, man, the Super Bowl is around the corner. The Eagles ain't in it, so I'm sad about that, but it's no pressure on us, Joe. That's one thing we can say. All the pressure on Teddy. We sitting back like, is Teddy team gonna get it done? That's how the R2L family is feeling right now. Is his team gonna get it done? So with that being said, Joe, we not in it. We get to sit back and we get to be unfazed, man.
Unfazed. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.